So let me explain why you can't see me. there's no. It's not really. It's funny. It's actually quite funny. The way I was recording my videos was a program called UCam, Hyperlink UCam. I think that's what it was called. Unless what I'm using now is called Hyperlink. Hold on. Okay, this is Hypercam. I'm talking about a program called UCam. Oops. And no. And it expired. Yes, I had a trial edition and it expired. So I'm gonna try and get this fixed. Because I don't want you guys to just be staring at my background for forever. um But okay, so on to my paranormal experience. I will talk about my background in a minute. I was on the phone with Robert, and yes, he's at the hospital, but he's fine. Um, well, fine to an extent. We found out he was dehydrated, and that's the reason for him going to the ICU. I'm very glad that it's not like super duper freaking scary. Like, oh, he has a disease that came from Silent Hill or Fatal Frame or some other mysterious, scary thing, you know. Um, he got dehydrated at work, threw up a few times, and he had to go to the hospital. And I'm very glad that it's nothing more serious than hydration. Yes, hydration. I mean, dehydration is a pretty big problem. But at least it's not like, oh, we had to cut his arm off. That would suck. Okay. But I love him. I really do. I love him no matter what. But he was at the hospital. And he calls me. He calls me a few times a day, which is good. And we're talking, and all of a sudden he says, what was that? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's all like, who's at your house? And I'm like, no one's at my house. You know, well, when I say my house, I mean our house. And our house isn't a house, it's a trailer. But he's like, it sounded like someone was at your house. And I'm like, no, Robert, I'm home alone. And so I got very interested in what he heard, because I've heard I've heard a single voice. And what I've heard is what sounds like a deep male voice, like an African American man saying something. What'll happen is I'll hear this voice, and I'm like, okay, well, my neighbor might be home. So I go look outside, he's not home. So I'll go to his trailer and I'll knock. And he's not home. Of course he's not home, because his car's not there. He's rarely home. The reason why he, quote unquote, lives here is so he can be a police officer in the city of New Orleans, because there's some weird law that makes it so you can't be a police officer unless you live in New Orleans. Apparently he actually lives in a different city, but he works here. So he just moved to a trailer here and says, oh, I live here now. But he's like never here, ever. He's always at work or at his actual house. And all the times I've heard this voice, he's never home. Ever. I always go and check. Just like a few seconds after I hear this. But Robert heard it. And he thought someone was at my house. And no, no one was at my house. I don't have that many friends here in New Orleans. New Orleans. But the friends I do have are pretty awesome. They are quite awesome. And I asked him, what did this voice sound like? He said it was a deep voice, and I was like, oh, like a black guy said something? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, that's the voice that I've been talking about, Robert. Because I tell him my quote-unquote paranormal experiences. And he's not really interested in it, which is fine. I mean, you know. But I'm really interested in paranormal stuff. And not just paranormal stuff. I like magic and aliens and all that. UFOs. Stuff like that. But let me tell you what I've heard this voice say. The first time I heard him was with a friend. I won't go into too much detail about her, but me and her are friends. At least I still hope so. I won't go into detail. But she was sitting on the couch, well, laying on the couch, and she was staying with us for a few months. And she's psychic. I know she's psychic because, well, I believe so. She was sitting on the couch, and I was just sitting here. And we were talking, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we hear this kind of sound. I don't remember what. I don't know if it was a word or some sort of sound. But we were like, did you hear that? And we were both like, yeah, we heard that. And we were like, Robert, did you hear that? And he's like, hear what? And he's kind of like, I don't know. He didn't hear it, but me and Patricia did. And it was pretty weird. Our neighbor wasn't there at that time. No, our neighbor moved in a couple days later. And me and Patricia looked at each other and like, strange. Because the voice we heard sounded like an African American, and oddly enough, an African American moves next door. He's cool, he's nice, he's a police officer. Yeah. And the second time I heard this voice was, and she's moved out by now. I hope she's good. I hope she's happy. I hope she still sees me as a friend. But yeah. So the second time I hear this, I'm looking for a crystal my other neighbors gave me. My other neighbors don't live next to me, they live like right across the street. And they're like really spiritual, cool people. I find them cool. And they gave me this crystal and said, focus on letting the crystal absorb the dark energy and then letting yourself fill up with light energy. And so I was like, okay, cool. And it got lost. And they gave me this crystal a couple months ago. And I lost the crystal, and I was like, I have to find this crystal, because I was in like I was kind of depressed for the whole depression thing I'm going to talk about in another video. But I was looking for this crystal in my bedroom, and I couldn't find it. So I yelled at the top of my lungs, a bad word, F-U-C-K. I didn't say F-U-C-K, I said the word. And I yelled it. Right after I said that, I heard what sounded like, shoot. Just like some guy saying, shoot. Just like that, shoot. And I was like, holy holy crud. Because it was like right next to me. It was like 1 foot away from me in the same room I was in. And I was alone. And I was like, it's that voice again. Cool. And, you know, I've tried, you know, after I heard that, I was like, okay, dude, you want to, like, talk to me? You want to, like, do something? You want to move something? Like, hello, I'm here to communicate with you. It's like, he'll say something, and then he'll just be silent. As if, like, he's there for a second and then goes. It's strange, I don't know. But I'm glad Robert heard it on the phone. What's weird about this is that I didn't hear it. Only he heard it. I don't know. I really don't. But I know he heard it because he was like, who's that? Who's there? Who's at your house? I just heard someone. And I'm like, no one's here. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. It's 10:54. And yes, I use Internet Explorer. You guys are probably like, dude, you're a derp for using Internet Explorer. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't do Firefox or Chrome or no, whatever. So, yeah. And about my desktop, it's a lot. It's much smoother and faster than it looks. The reason why it's acting all choppy is because I have the hypercam. What am I doing? Trying to add gadgets. It's the hypercam, and oh, with this hypercam, the reason why I downloaded it was because I was recording a game. It's called Mighty Morphine Power Rangers: The Fighting Edition, and yes, I say morphine because it's a play on words. Mighty Morphine. I think it's funny, but it's a fighting game that I played when I was a kid with my brother, and my brother would always beat me. Even when I played Ivan Ooze, he would beat me, and I'm like, holy crap. My brother is amazing at every video game he plays. But yeah, I installed the program, and I'll probably upload some of my fights on that game. But yeah, this is my desktop. All the things that you see, those are called gadgets, and they're slideshow gadgets. And my concept of this is they're not supposed to look like pictures, but random portals going into other universes, and you see something within that window. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of random stuff going on, and so yeah. One thing I don't understand about my computer is every like half hour something will pop up and it's like, you want to download this? You want to download that? And it's like ActiveX or JavaScript or IOBot, some kind of antivirus. And I'm like, nope, 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 nope. How about a big can of nope? And yeah. Yeah, see? You see what I'm talking about? You see? Oh my god. No, it's really annoying. Because I'll be playing Baldur's Gate. It's this game, Baldur's Gate, Throne of Ball. And it'll minimize my game. Whatever game I'm playing, it'll minimize it. And it'll be like, so, you want to download me? Because I'm so important. And I'm like, no. No, I don't want to download you. Get out of my face. But yeah, I like my background. I can't find an image that I like. There's too many images that I like. But I don't put those images on these slideshows because even though I like crazy randomness, I like sort of a pattern, even though all of these are not, they're not patterned, they're on shuffle, so they're all randomized. Well, I figured if I just put all the pictures I like into this folder that they're showing, it would just, it wouldn't look as cool, I don't think. And it started off with just purple, black, red, and green because those are my favorite colors. And I was like, well, why don't I add some colored photos? Photos are all that colored but have some kind of like shape or something I like. I like skulls. So I was like, I'll have skulls and stuff. And that purple and green thing that you see, this and that and this and that. That's just cool. I just think that's cool. So that's my video for this week. Sorry that my webcam doesn't work. Um it's kind of funny, I guess. I have a weird sense of humor. Like when things mess up all the time, it's kind of funny. Kind of like how every time I defragment my computer, Baldur's Gate will be like, "Oh, you haven't installed me. You should install me." And I'm like, "I've installed you 20 times." But that is a problem that I don't know how to fix. So, yeah. Hope you guys are good, and I know I only get like 30, not even 30, like 25 views per video, but that's okay. I'm not making these videos to get popular. I'm making these videos to share my paranormal experiences, and yeah, love you guys. Hope you guys are doing good. Have an awesome day, night. See you next week. Bye.